The day before I went to get my driver's license, I practiced parking between two boxes. After a few crushed boxes, I gave up. I thought, I'm never going to be able to pass this. So next morning, my husband took me to the DMV. I was dressed up in my beautiful red dress, my spikes, did my hair up. And when we got there, this gorgeous young guy comes up to me and he said, "Are you Mrs. Johnston?" I said, "Yes." He said, "My name is Mark. I'm going to take you for your driving test. And may I call you Gloria?" I said, "Yes." Okay. He said, "Where's your car?" I said, "It's parked out in the front." So we went to the car, and he ran and opened the car door for me. He helped me get in the car. He closed the door, he ran around, got in the car, and I said, "I'm awfully nervous." He said, "Don't be nervous. The only thing I want you to do right now is open your window and do hand signals." He said, "See that sign over there?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Drive over there and stop the car and I'll give you directions and instructions on what to do." So I drove the car, stopped the car. He said, "Now from here you're going to make a left turn. And you're going to make believe like you're going uphill. So you're going to park the car by the curb and you're going to turn the wheel so the car doesn't roll back." So I did. And as I'm doing a left, I go, "I forgot to do a hand signal." He said, "That's okay." So I parked the car by the curb, turned the wheel, he looked out the window, and he said, "Gloria, you're about 2 feet away from the curb. So let's put the car in reverse, bring it close to the curb, turn the wheel." So I did that. When you're still over a foot away from the curb, this time, this is what I want you to do. I want you to turn your whole head back to see if there's any traffic coming. You're not going to see any traffic here because it's a Tuscan area. So, if you were downtown, you would want to get in an accident. So I turned my whole head around. I said, "There's no traffic." Put my car in reverse, brought it forward, parked by the curb, turned the wheel. He looked out. He says, "Gloria, you're still a whole foot away from the curb." I said, "Mark, please don't make me do it again. I don't know how to park by the curb." He said, "Okay, see those 2 poles over there?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, drive the car up to the pole, stop by the first pole." I said, "Mark, I don't know how to park between 2 cars." He said, "Don't worry about it, I'll show you how." So I drove the car. I forgot to make a hand signal. I said, "That's okay." So I stopped the car by the first pole. He said, "Okay, now, take your foot off the brake. Lightly put your foot on the gas. Turn the steering wheel to the left. Okay, now do it to the right. A little bit to the right. A little bit more. Okay, now, back to the left. A little bit to the right." And I dropped the front pole. Put the car reversed, and I dropped the back pole. Mark jumps out of the car. He goes and picks up the poles. He jumps back in the car, and he says, "Okay, let's do it again. Take your foot off the brake. Put your foot on the gas. Lightly, lightly. Turn the wheel to the left. Now turn it to the right." And I dropped the pole in the front. Put the car reversed. Drop the pole in the back. He jumps out of the car. He goes and picks up the poles. He gets back in the car. And we did this 5 times. And I said, "Mark, don't have me do it again. I don't know how to park between these 2 poles." He said, "Okay, let's drive up to the front of the building." As I'm driving up, I noticed my husband had stood outside by the curb and he's going. So I stopped the car. Mark jumps out of the car, opens the car door for me. He helps me out. He closes the door. He takes the pet out of his pocket and he's riding on it. And as he's riding on it, my husband's following him. She didn't pass, did she? She didn't pass, did she? And Mark says, "Yes, she did. She needs a little help, but she'll be okay." Follow in. I got my picture taken. I got my driver's license. And I walked out and I said to my husband, "Can I drive home?" He said, "No." So we got home. My son had just gotten home from school. And he said, "Hey, Dad, she didn't pass, did she?" He said, "Yes, she did." "But Dad, she doesn't even know how to drive." He says, "Yeah, but you should see this gorgeous guy that took her for a test drive." So anyhow, 8 years went by. And we're driving to Youngstown, Ohio. This is where my husband's from. And I happen to be driving as we go into town, into the city. And my husband says, "Hon, you better pull over. You got a red light on back on you." So I pulled over. I opened the window. I had my license ready. This gorgeous cop comes up to my window. He says, "Young lady, do you know how fast you were going?" And I said, "No." "Do you know what the speed limit is here?" I said, "No." He says, "Well, it's 45 and you were doing 60. Young lady, let me look at your license." So I gave him my license, and he's busy writing on a piece of paper. He has my license over here. So when he finished writing, he took my license and goes, "What?" I go, "What?" He says, "This license expired 8 years ago." And I said, "Expired?" He says, "Don't you know you're supposed to renew your license every 2 years?" I said, "No." He says, "Well, do you drive?" He says to my husband, "Yes." "You better take this young lady tomorrow to get a new driver's license. Young lady, I'm going to give you a verbal warning. I don't want to see you driving until you get this driver's license. You hear me?" So next day my husband took me, and of course I didn't pass, because I didn't know how to park between two cars. So we waited till we got home. A few crushed boxes later, I thought I was ready to go get my driver's license. So we went, and this time he took me to a different DMV, and I had this grouchy old man. He says, "Where's your car?" I said, "Out in front." He says, "Open your window and you'll have signal." I said, "Okay." So I opened my window. It was so cold, I put my hand between my legs, and I drove with my right hand. I did a left and a right. He said, "Drive back to the front of the building." So I drove back. I said, "I guess I didn't pass, did I?" He said, "Young lady, I'm 80 years old. Do you think I want you coming back and taking my life into your hands? Heck no! You've got your driver's license." Thank you.